Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland, Ronaldo or Messi, Pele or Maradona, Maguire or Upamecano. One of the biggest football debates that exists. And ladies and gentlemen, I am a football expert, or in other words, a Manchester United fan. I asked the football community to give me some of the debates, and I will be debunking and ending every debate there is. Let's get right into this. Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland? If any part of you, any brain cell, any cell of you believes that Erling Haaland is better than Kylian Mbappe, I don't want you to get eye checks. I don't want you to get brain check. I want you to get soul checked. Because how, as a human, you believe that opinion? Kylian Mbappe is a better player than Erling Haaland. He is a more complete player. He can run, he can shoot, he can dribble. With Kylian Mbappe, you give him the ball, he creates something for you. With Haaland, you need a whole ass team behind him. You put two defenders on Haaland and boom, done. He's useless. But at this rate, I believe Erling Haaland will take over Kylian Mbappe if Mbappe decides to stay in PSG for one more year. Since you guys are a bunch of geeks, you like to look at statistics. Let's look at the statistics. Kylian Mbappe has a total of 239 goals as a winger, while Erling Haaland has almost 200 goals on his name. Now keep in mind, Erling Haaland is like 2 to 3 years younger than Kylian Mbappe. Erling Haaland, like I said, is a striker. Kylian Mbappe is a winger. He's more of a playmaker. And when it comes to assists, Kylian Mbappe has 114 assists and Erling Haaland has 44 assists. Basically double the amount of Erling Haaland. Mbappe has more league titles, but like I said, league titles of the Uber Eats. The Uber Eats league is the 7th best ranked league in the world. The Premier League is number 1. I'm sorry, but you just cannot compare. One Premier League is worth 5 French Uber Eats league. And to end this whole conversation, Kylian Mbappe is the better player. Erling Haaland, until now, has the better career in my opinion. So Kylian Mbappe, you have one job and one job only. Join Manchester. Okay, no, join Real Madrid this season. Suarez Prime versus Lewandowski Prime. Suarez. Next question. Don't ask stupid questions. Thank you. Kevin De Bruyne or Courtois? I mean, it has to be Courtois, right? Because I mean, he stole his girl and technically he won, so. Neymar or Vinicius Jr? Obviously Neymar. Like, make some. What are these questions? It just, you can't compare Neymar and Vinicius Jr. right now. But what I have to say is that if Vinicius decides to make the right choices, the right decisions, unlike Neymar Jr., if he stayed in Real Madrid for a long time, I think that he would 100% surpass Neymar's legacy. Vini Jr., do not get comfortable, my friend. Kylian Mbappe, the turtle, is joining soon. He will take your position. Unless he decides to play striker, obviously. But I need you to step up. And side note, Vini Jr. is not in the same conversation as Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. Thank you. Harry Maguire or Upamecano? Now this is more like it. You ask me about Vini Jr., Neymar Jr. This is more like it. Two legends of the game. One of the, should I call the best defenders of all time? Obviously this season they had an amazing season when it comes to rivalry. One had an unbelievable performance against Manchester City, the other had an unbelievable performance against CVO. But I know I'm not being biased here, but let's be honest, Upamecano, the reason he became so famous and popular is because they called him Opa Maguire. And to be named after someone else, that someone else means he's kinda better than you. That's like saying what? Mount is the next Zainuddin Zaidan. You know what I mean? Salah or Rashford? Even as a Manchester United fan, how dare you disrespect Salah like that? Salah shouldn't even be compared to Rashford. Salah is probably the best winger in Premier League history after Cristiano Ronaldo. Salah is probably the best player in Premier League history after Cristiano Ronaldo and arguably Thierry Henry. Salah has been consistent ever since he joined Liverpool. Until it reaches December of Christmas, then you know what happens to him. But even if you want to compare them this season, I think Salah was better than Rashford this season. Yeah, Rashford was doing amazing, but Salah almost did the same thing in a worse team. And call me deluded, I think when Salah finishes his career, I think he will be the best player in Premier League history after Cristiano Ronaldo. Another Salah, Salah or Hazard? Mohamed Salah is better than Eden Hazard. I've said this. My throat is in pain from saying this. He's just better in stats, goals. I don't care if Hazard was better in his prime. I don't care. Who cares? It's just a moment. A moment doesn't define who's better. Maybe if Hazard stayed in Chelsea, he would have been better than Mohamed Salah, but he didn't. He left, he ate burgers, and then he got injured. I'm sorry. Rashford or Saka? You know what? You compared Salah with Rashford and I thought it was disrespectful for Salah, right? But with this one, it's just disrespectful to Rashford. At current form, maybe Saka. At current form, he had one good season until now. Don't start to bullshit me. Saka has had one good season so far and he's being compared to Rashford. I'm sorry. Rashford has had many better seasons. He has been here more. He has more goals. I'm sure he has more assists. Right now, Rashford beats Saka in every single category. Don't even dare to compare them. But Rashford is older than Saka. You know what that means. Let's give him some time. Maybe Saka would overtake Rashford in missing penalties, if that was a category. Lukaku versus Ramos. Oof. Okay, we talked about Maguire or Upamecano, but Lukaku versus Ramos, now this is a really tough one. When it comes to shots blocked, I believe it has to go to Lukaku, right? I mean, Lukaku has performed more than Ramos? No, this is really hard to compare because both of them are probably Champions League excellence, Champions League icons. Two players that performed probably the most in the Champions League final. And I think Lukaku's performance, was it better than every single Sergio Ramos' performance? I wouldn't say so. Because he gave Manchester City the title! He blocked his own team from winning! He didn't take his own team to victory! Pedri and Camavinga. From what I saw, I don't watch that league, right? Who watches that league? I don't know. But I have never watched Pedri as well. I don't know how he plays. Camavinga, I watched him play. And Camavinga is unreal. He can play left back. Last week I saw him playing goalkeeper, center mid, right wing, striker, right back, center back, in the stands, security, probably a doctor. I mean, let's be honest, if he was the doctor of Real Madrid, Eden Hazard wouldn't have been injured so much. But to answer this, I would say Camavinga, because I saw one particular match, right? He came in the extra time of the World Cup final. And when he came, first of all, he pocketed every Argentinian player on that pitch. He was everywhere. The tackles, everything was just so beautiful. He pocketed Messi as well. He literally changed the game. Camavinga changed the game in the World Cup final, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm a Manchester United fan. Modric or Iniesta? Modric, next question. Listen, Iniesta was great. Modric was great as well. If you're speaking longevity, or what do they say, like longevity, then I would say Modric. De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes, and I am tired. I am sick of this. It's time to put some respect in Bruno Fernandes' name. Bruno Fernandes is one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated player in the world right now. He has been consistent for years. Since joining Manchester United, he has the most chances created in the Premier League, surpassing Kevin De Bruyne. Let's not forget, he plays in a worse team than Kevin De Bruyne. He played with worse managers and he played with worse players around him. If Bruno Fernandes would have been swapped with Kevin De Bruyne and went to Manchester City, I guarantee you he would have surpassed Kevin De Bruyne. But unfortunately, in the football world, no one cares about stats. All they care about is trophies. And when it comes to trophy-wise and career-wise, Kevin De Bruyne beats Bruno Fernandes. I said before that if Kevin De Bruyne ends his career without winning a Champions League, it would be absolutely criminal. And I will say this right now. If Bruno Fernandes ends his career without a major trophy, without a Premier League or without a Champions League, it would be even more criminal. Bruno Fernandes, unfortunately for him, had Vegas as a striker. Keep in mind, let me repeat it again. Most chances created, by the way. And he had Vegas in front of him. Well, Kevin De Bruyne had Aguero and Erling Haaland now. And on top of all of this, Bruno Fernandes barely got injured. Unlike some people who gets injured when it matters. But to answer that, it's obviously Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne over Bruno Fernandes any day of the week. But Bruno Fernandes still has a lot of time. He can do a comeback here. I genuinely believe he can surpass Kevin De Bruyne. Call me deluded. Like, in my opinion, Kevin De Bruyne was so privileged. He had Pep Guardiola coaching him. Who did Bruno Fernandes have? Ranić, Ole, Gundogan. Okay. Thank you guys. And that is it. That's all the debates over. Now you can finally live in peace and not be confused. You are probably more confused even after this video, but and now it's your turn. If you think I was wrong in any point in this video, let me know. If you want a part 2, also let me know, and gracias amigos.